It wasn't supposed to happen. Nothing moves faster than light until now. During a quiet scan of deep space, Voyager and James Webb caught something no telescope was ever meant to see. 3C Atlas, a rogue interstellar object, was moving at 113% the speed of light. No heat, no signal, no explanation, just a dark silhouette tearing across the stars and reality itself. If this object breaks the rules of physics, what else might it break? The flicker in the void. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more of these incredible discoveries. On April 17, 2025, at precisely 3:24 UTC, the James Webb Space Telescope was performing a routine calibration scan of the Sculptor Galaxy Group, a region in deep space chosen for its emptiness. Nothing ever happens there. It's what astronomers call a control field, stable, quiet, and ideal for checking instruments. But on that morning, something appeared. A flicker. Not bright, not large, but unmistakable. It moved across Webb's internal camera array too quickly to be a star, too steady to be a cosmic ray. Operators flagged the event, assuming noise or an onboard anomaly. But then it happened again. 3 times over 72 minutes, the same flicker reappeared across 3 independent instruments: MIRI, NIRCam, and NIRSpec. This was no glitch. Something was in that field, but it wasn't emitting light. It wasn't even reflecting it. Webb's powerful infrared detectors registered nothing. 0 emissions, 0 Kelvin. What the telescope recorded wasn't an object in the usual sense. It was a hole in the data, a silhouette defined not by presence but absence. As Dr. Nadia Singh of Caltech described it, a presence marked by absence. A void, perfectly black with no measurable temperature, albedo, or structure. The team scoured every available database: NASA's JPL Horizons, ESA's Transient Survey, and the Minor Planet Center. No matches, no orbital record, no predicted path. The anomaly wasn't just unknown, it was undocumented, and its behavior didn't match any natural motion. It didn't drift. It didn't tumble. It slid across the field like a knife's edge, perfectly straight. Background stars were briefly obscured, then returned undistorted. The object didn't bend light like a massive body. It erased it, but only for a moment. And when it moved on, there was no trail, no wake, just empty space. That would have been strange enough. But what the team found next changed everything. Using standard parallax methods, they measured its movement, 0.38 arcseconds in 2.4 milliseconds. A minuscule angle, but at a distance of 12.7 million light-years, it meant the object was traveling at over 340,000 km/s. That's faster than the speed of light. Much faster. And according to every law of physics since 1905, that shouldn't be possible. At first, the data was assumed flawed. After all, 299,792 km/s is the universal speed limit. Anything faster breaks not just rules but reality itself. But the numbers held again and again. And if something really did move at 113% the speed of light, then it wasn't just an anomaly. It was a message. A message that said, something is wrong with what we think we know. And that message was only beginning to be understood. The impossible speed. According to Einstein's special relativity, published in 1905, the speed of light in a vacuum, 299,792 km/s, is the upper boundary for all mass-bearing objects. Exceed it and the math breaks. Infinite energy would be required. Cause and effect would blur. Time would stretch, collapse, and potentially reverse. But Webb's data was unmistakable. The object, later nicknamed JU-21, moved 0.38 arcseconds across space in 2.4 milliseconds over a distance of 12.7 million light-years. The result, 340,000 km/s, a full 13% faster than light. Not nearly. Not close, beyond. What does that mean? In simple terms, if true, time itself doesn't work the way we thought. Events could occur out of sequence. Signals could arrive before they were sent. It upends not just physics, but causality. Dr. Felix Yummer at the Max Planck Institute put it bluntly, we're not looking at speed, we're looking at a fracture in how the universe keeps order. JU-21 didn't accelerate gradually. It moved as if inertia didn't apply. No friction, no thermal bloom, no radiation shock. It simply shifted position in space-time as if distance itself was meaningless. Suspecting error, teams from Caltech, MIT, ESO, and NASA ran 16 independent audits of Webb's systems. Frame rate, angular precision, cosmic ray interference, thermal conditions. Every variable was scrutinized. Not one fault was found. The object's motion was verified across 3 instruments. Parallax confirmed its trajectory. Its speed was not only real, it was reproducible, yet no other telescope could see it. Hubble, Chandra, Alma, all blind. Only Webb's deep infrared stacking revealed the movement. This led to a darker realization. JU-21 wasn't just fast, it was invisible to every system except Webb, and it had chosen a perfect moment to move. For nearly 18 years, it may have been sitting in place undetected. But on the day we looked close enough, it moved. Not before. Not after. Exactly then. As if it was waiting to be seen, or triggered by our observation. Either way, this was no passive object. It was an event in motion. But it wasn't just the speed or the silence or the vanishing act. As researchers pulled deeper into the raw data, another layer emerged. The object wasn't just moving through space. It was changing it, folding it, rewriting it. What Webb recorded next was not just faster than light. It was stranger than matter. Because when you looked closer, this wasn't an object at all. It was a void with a pulse. Unlike any known body, asteroid, moon, black hole, or nebula, JU-21 didn't emit or block light in normal ways. It didn't glow. It didn't absorb heat. Webb's sensors, capable of detecting emissions down to 240 Kelvin, read the anomaly at absolute zero. So okay, total thermodynamic silence. But when researchers enhanced the raw data, stacking 96 image frames, they found something disturbing. A halo. A pulsating ring of faint infrared filaments encircling the object. Not random, not chaotic. These filaments pulsed with uncanny precision, every 11.2 seconds. The filaments were not like starlight or gas. They didn't disperse, scatter, or radiate. Instead, they flickered in sync, expanding and contracting in geometric waves, almost like breathing. Dr. Helena Yu from the Webb optics team described it as a skin of light reacting to the space around it. In false color renderings, the filaments resembled a woven mesh draped around an invisible core. It didn't move like energy. It moved like intention, structured, symmetrical, repeating frame after frame. But the strangest phenomenon came from behind it. Normally, a massive object distorts the light of stars behind it, bending it into arcs, a process called gravitational lensing. JU-21 didn't bend light, it twisted it. Instead of curves, Webb recorded spirals, helixes, and angular displacements in the background starlight. More shockingly, it didn't cast a shadow. It didn't block light. It redirected it, bent it inward like a whirlpool in space-time. And yet the object had no detectable gravity, no mass, no X-rays, no radiation signature. It distorted the universe like a lens, but without mass. Some began to wonder, was it hiding light, or was it changing the rules of how light behaves? That question deepened when Webb's infrared detectors caught minute distortions not around the object, but inside it. The void wasn't hollow. It was layered, folded, as if space-time itself was being compressed within it. This wasn't a shell or a rock. It was a shape, a cavity that didn't belong to the natural world, and it pulsed with terrifying precision, folding space from within. The next revelation didn't come from outside the object, but from inside it. Using precision parallax, researchers noticed that the distortion surrounding JU-21 wasn't the result of gravitational pull. It didn't behave like a planet or a black hole. Instead, the distortion originated from within. Space-time wasn't bending toward it. It was folding inside it. This wasn't curvature. It was collapse. A compression of geometry, as if two distant points in space were brought together inside a single form. The shape didn't suggest chaos. It suggested a mechanism. Measurements showed background starlight didn't just bend, it shifted. The apparent positions of stars behind JU-21 moved slightly, even when the object itself stayed still, over a span of 13.7 minutes. The angular distortion changed, suggesting that the surrounding space wasn't just warped by motion, but by internal dynamics. One physicist from the Max Planck Institute, Dr. Isaac Ranier, described it as not warping space but weaving it. A geometric cavity, part shell, part void, was pulling space inward. Not through mass, but through some unknown internal structure. This internal structure wasn't empty, nor was it solid. When analyzed from multiple angles, the cavity inside JU-21 exhibited variable geometry. It appeared different depending on the observer's angle, a phenomenon predicted by higher dimensional mathematics, but never seen. The object wasn't just existing in space. It was interacting with the structure beneath space. The background stars behind it didn't vanish. They stretched and shifted like reflections on curved glass. Yet there was no measurable gravity to explain this. The fold itself was the phenomenon. Even more unsettling was how it moved through matter. At 12.7 million light-years, it passed through regions of interstellar gas and dust. Normally, that interaction would produce heat, scattering, or at least a wake. But JU-21 left no trail. It passed like a needle through cloth, intact, undisturbed, and silent. It did not slow. It did not deflect. It moved as if it didn't care what was around it.